So the Texans season has come to an end, but just because the Texans season is over, just because the Texans are going on a 7-month break, doesn't mean I'm going on a 7th month break. So if you're new to the channel this season, I do release videos like every week regarding the Texans. And, we're going to start off with, some basics. Like, today we're going to recap the season. And then we're going to evaluate the team. And we'll do some mock drafts. We'll do some free agency targets. And all that other fun stuff. So, if there's a certain Texans topic that you want me to cover at some point during the season, comment down below. And then I'll, jot it down. And then eventually I'll get to it, because believe me, there's like 6 months till the start of preseason, I believe. So, yeah, it's gonna be a long off season, especially when you consider we don't have a first round pick. So, I'm gonna need all the video ideas I can get. So, if there's really some topic that you guys want me to discuss, leave it down below on the comment section. But today we're just going to be recapping this season. So, my opinion, this season was a complete failure. Complete failure, man. There is no other way to put it. Look, last year, I know a lot of people were mad at the way the season ended with a embarrassing home playoff loss against the Colts. But I honestly wasn't so pissed about last year's playoff loss as opposed to what happened this year. Because last year, in my opinion, the Texans were never supposed to even do anything. Last year, the only reason I wanted the Texans to get into the playoffs was to get Deshaun Watson some playoff experience. Because when we got into the playoffs, we had no O-line, no secondary, and our wide receivers were all hurt. So, at that point, you already know. You can't win in the playoffs with a team that bad. So, I just wanted Deshaun to get his playoff experience, and his playoff experience he got. This year, though, we got an O-line. Our secondary got way better. And we were relatively healthy, if we're being honest. Yes, Deshaun Gibson and Titus Howard weren't playing, but we were pretty healthy going to the playoffs. At this stage in the game, nobody is completely healthy, so there is absolutely no excuse for the Texans. So I was expecting, this year the Texans have to get to the AFC Championship game. And 24-0. It was looking that way. It was indeed looking that way, but in typical Texans fashion, they Texaned it up, and they blew a 24-point lead and lost by 20 points. Like, how you lead by 20 points and then get beat by 20 points, That's a failure. It's a complete failure, especially when you look at the Chiefs team and the Texans team. The Texans are a better team than the Chiefs. The Texans have better receivers, better running backs, probably about the same level at quarterback, probably about the same level at O-line, because, Eric Fisher's trash. Their starting left guard was hurt. Their center's not that good. Yes, I know, Titus Howard was hurt, but it kind of evens out. So we have, similar O-lines, I guess. We have a stud left tackle. They have a stud right tackle. So we have similar offensive lines. Defensively, we have a better D-line. We have better linebackers. We even have better DBs. The Texans were a better team than the Chiefs on paper, but the Chiefs beat the Texans. To me, that's a complete failure. For the first time ever, I thought the Texans had a legit shot at advancing past the second round. Because I've said it before, I said it all late December. We have a shot this year to beat the Chiefs or Patriots. At the time, back in week 16, week 15, the Patriots had the 2 seed. So I was like, we have a chance this year. But instead, the Texans they blew it. They completely blew it. Like, this year was the perfect year for the Texans to go to the Super Bowl. I mean, it was all right there for you. Literally. All right there. All you had to do was beat a team you had already beaten before. You went 24-0 on this team. You were up 24-0. And you lost. Like, it's pathetic. I mean, it was all there for you. Luck retired. Tom Brady was gone. I mean, you had already beat the Patriots anyway, so yeah, the Patriots and Tom Brady were gone. The only good team in the whole AFC that you pretty much struggled against all year was Baltimore. And guess what? The Titans took care of them for you. So all you had to do was beat a soft Kansas City team that was terrified of you. Dudes were dropping balls like crazy in the first quarter because they were scared. They were scared. But the Texans left them off the hook. So, whatever way you want to try to, make this seem like a good season, it's not. It's a bad season. Wasted season. Wasted a year of J.J. Watt's career. Wasted a year of Hop's career. Watson's career. Wasted a year of Watson's rookie contract. And guess what? Now there's rumors that the Texans aren't going to re-sign DJ Reader. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. I think the season was a complete failure. To me, we needed to reach new heights with Bill O'Brien, and we didn't. So what does that tell me? To me, it tells me that we've seen the ceiling with Bill O'Brien. I think that's pretty much what it is. And, just this whole season as a whole, it was honestly a complete disaster. Like, good teams. Look at Seattle, look at San Francisco, New England, Baltimore, Kansas City, even Tennessee. Minnesota. All these teams had winning streaks. The Texans, they didn't do anything this season. You could even say the 2019 Texans, never really got going because good teams go on win streaks. The Texans, yeah, winning 2 games in a row, that's no win streak. That's just, stringing 2 wins together. At some point during the season, the Texans had to string some wins together, but they didn't. They couldn't, get in rhythm. They couldn't get in rhythm in a game, and they couldn't get in rhythm for the season. They just, for whatever reason, they struggled to. I mean, you guys know the streak, or like the trend, I guess. Lose 1, win 2. Well, that trend finally ended. But it ended in a bad fashion. Lost 1, won 1, lost again. Ended up losing in the divisional round. Again. So, yeah. This Texans team never got going. Yes, they had some good wins, against the Chargers when they were pretty healthy. They had a good win versus Kansas City. They had a good win versus New England. They had a good win versus Tennessee, because you know what Tennessee's doing right now. They're in the AFC Championship game. So obviously that Week 15 win versus Tennessee was a quality win. But you also have ugly losses, like the loss against Denver and the loss against Carolina. Like, if those games go your way, you're probably looking at a different Texans team. The Texans are probably still in the tournament. So, yeah. This season was a complete failure, man. Like, it was hard to watch, honestly. Very, very hard to watch this team this season because, as a fan, you like to see your team show up each and every week. But instead, the Texans didn't really show up each and every week. I think the only game where the Texans played like a complete game was maybe New England. And I say maybe New England because like the last 6 minutes they, stopped trying and New England put up like 16 points and the score looked way closer than it really was. But if you think about it, man, the Tennessee game that we won in Week 15 was kind of a disaster. The Chiefs game, the Texans didn't really get going until I believe it was the second quarter. I mean, the Texans were down 17-3. The Chargers game, the Texans were down, I believe it was like 14-0, I believe, or something like that. I mean, maybe the London game in Jacksonville, that might have been the most complete game the Texans played all season. But yeah, the Texans didn't have a complete game this year, and that's kind of sad because we did see the potential with this team. If this team was on, they could beat anyone, anywhere, anytime. Let's be real. When this team was on, they were unstoppable. The problem is, this team was hardly ever on, and when they were on, they were really only on for like a quarter or two at most. Like, just think about it. Atlanta maybe, but in Atlanta, our defense was pretty trash. So, yeah. Like, this team, this season, was a complete failure, in my opinion. Like, there's no other way to put it. Again, like I said, wasted a year of our elite players' careers. Now we might lose Reader. Watson's about to get his extension, at least I hope so. Tunsil's gonna get an extension. We gotta pay Roby, we gotta pay John Weeks, we gotta pay all these other guys. Carlos Hyde, another guy that we have to make a decision on. And then you also got Vernon Hargraves, who's getting paid $10 million for next season. I mean, I think he had a decent little 6-7-ish games with us, but he's gonna get paid, I believe, $10 million next season, and I really don't think he's worth that. So we got to do something with his contract. And something else. Here's the thing: Bill O'Brien, he made all these trades. Lermy Tunsil, Kenny Stills, Carlos Hyde, Duke Johnson, Keon Crozen, I believe was the one he got. Garyon Conley mid-season. And, believe me, I love the trades. Jacob Martin and Barkevius Mingo. I loved the trades. Don't get me wrong. But think about this for a second. What would have happened this season if Bill O'Brien didn't make the trades? So, no Lermy Tunsil, no Kenny Stills, no Garyon Conley, no Carlos Hyde, no Duke Johnson. What would have happened this season? This Texans team would have been like a 6-10, 7-9 team. So, one, it proves that Bill O'Brien is a good GM. Two, though, it means that this team wasn't very good to begin with. Because if the Texans needed all these trades to get them to 10-6, well, 10-5, I don't count the Week 17 game where we rested our starters. To get them 10 wins and to the second round, imagine where they would have been without those trades. Typically a team that's looking to contend for a Super Bowl makes all these trades. Like the Rams, the Eagles. They make trades once they think they're in the cusp of winning a Super Bowl. So that's where the Texans were, and the fact that they only got to the divisional round should tell you enough about this season. Like I said, man, this season was a failure. If there was ever a year that the Texans were going to win the Super Bowl, where they had a good shot at winning the Super Bowl, this was it. Patriots were out of it. Ravens were out of it. All you had to do was beat two teams that you had already beat earlier in the season. One of those teams you pretty much own, the Titans. So if you would have got past the Chiefs, you would have came home and took care of the Tennessee Titans, because for whatever reason, the Titans cannot beat the Texans. And that's just the way it is, honestly. Like, it's a complete failure. And if anyone really tries to argue against that, then I really don't know what to tell you. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for you guys for today. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.